Hey y'all, your friendly neighborhood gadget inspector here, back with episode 2 of my series on the Parrot and NAFI. Now, we're trying to answer the question, how much flight time do you really get? Now, Parrot advertises 25 minutes of flight time, and I did a similar test with the Parrot Bebop 2, and it actually proved to be true. So we're doing the same thing today with the Parrot and NAFI. So let's just get it on then. How you feeling today? I enjoy YouTube because it allows me to combine multiple interests and it serves as a creative outlet for me. My love for music, flying drones, editing and producing videos, and then sharing it with you. Now I would do this even if nobody watched, so I'm grateful that you stopped by the channel to hang out with me. Alright, I have a flight clock up in the left hand corner of your screen, and I'm just going to narrate a little bit. We're testing flight time today, y'all. Now this video might end up being a little bit long, but it really depends on if I run out of stuff to talk about. I may speed up portions of the flight just to move things along. Oh, one thing I do want to point out. I was playing around with the lock auto exposure feature on the NAFI, so during portions of the flight, you'll probably notice the exposure changing. My bad on that, but there's still plenty of good footage here, so you'll definitely get a good dose of what the camera produces. We are filming in 4K at 24 frames per second. We're in film mode rather than sports mode. And that's partly to maintain smooth looking footage, especially during turns, but I also didn't want to drain the battery faster by flying in sports mode. So that's what we're doing. Now I do have an ND16 filter mounted, so let me know if you notice any micro jitters. The first time I used the filters, I was noticing some weird vibrations, but I didn't notice it in this footage. Obviously fooling around with the exposure here. I was tapping the ground on the screen, so that caused the sky to blow out, and then I tapped the sky, and then that caused the ground to get crushed and underexposed. Just getting more familiar with it. Again, the main purpose of this flight was to test flight time. I'm not trying to get too cinematic on this video. Here, I think I actually turned the auto exposure lock off because it looks like a really good image here. Now notice here how the horizon tilts to the left. I'm rolling to the left full stick, so apparently the gimbal and stabilization wasn't keeping up very well. I took a look at the flight data, and when the NAFI is pitching or rolling to one side or the other, it actually moves faster, so I think that may have had something to do with it. We'll see that happen again during this flight, and I'll point it out. It's pretty obvious though. I was just playing around for most of this flight, but again, flight time is what we're mainly focused on today. it was an absolutely beautiful day with partly cloudy skies, very little wind, and the temperature was in the mid to upper 80s. Just a gorgeous, darn near perfect day to be out droning around. Okay, so I'm rolling to the left again, and you can clearly see the horizon tilt to the left. I'm not a fan of that at all, man. So the remedy is likely to move a little slower when rolling to the left or the right. Now here I'm just zooming in while flying forward. I'm not trying to do any special shots or anything like that, just playing around. Now I'm zooming into the ground here, and it's a weird sensation watching that on the screen while I was flying. Felt like the drone was crashing. Just a few words about the location I'm flying here. So this is a park here in the beautiful state of Michigan. It's about a half hour east of where I live. And it's one of the parks here that requires what they call a recreational pass. So I pay about $13 a year to have access to these parks. So people fish out here, swim, hike, camp, boat, you name it. And the great thing about flying here is it's fairly remote, so Wi-Fi interference is pretty much non-existent. Now, if I wanted to do a range test, just hypothetically speaking, if I wanted to test range, this is a perfect spot to do it. I actually recorded the screen on my phone and I planned on including it in this video, but my experience with the built-in screen recorder on my iPhone hasn't been good. I have my fingers crossed every time I use it, and this particular time it didn't save. But I didn't have one single dropout in the video feed during this entire flight. Now I will say that I'm really impressed with the camera on the Anafi. There's a lot of options, the colors look great, and the dynamic range is really good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. All right, I think I was down to about 20% battery here, so I started to make my way back. And I do recommend bringing the drone in closer once it hits at about 20% battery. Better safe than sorry. Those birds were going absolutely nuts about this drone. I don't know if you noticed them, but they're just continuously buzzing past the Anafi and chirping away as they do it. And I don't know why it riles them up so much. It could be the sound that it makes. It's super quiet, but it does have a unique, particular sound to it. And this is the same type of bird that does this everywhere I fly. And I'd like to find out what kind of birds those are. So the Anafi initiated return to home once it hit at about 8% battery. And you can see that's at about 21 minutes of flight time. I have my minimum height set to 200 feet, so it's going to climb up to 200 and then come on back. And the Anafi has a precise home, which is similar to DJI's precision landing, and it's usually much better than this, but as you can see, it was a bit off this time. So when the Anafi returns to home, it just hovers at about 6 feet until you land it. But I'm just letting it hover until it auto lands once the battery pretty much expires. At about 2% battery, the auto landing kicked in, so 22 minutes and 45 seconds of total flight time with 2% battery remaining. I probably could have pushed it, but this is realistically the furthest I'd push it, and these are typical results that I've been getting and that I expect to get. Well, that's it, y'all. Stay tuned for episode 3. I appreciate you for watching. Be good to somebody and be good to yourself. Later.